All right. Well, we are live. Welcome everybody that's joining us as we get set up for the week. Um, yeah, markets are looking like they might be fun this week, so we'll see. Um, my name is David. If you haven't met me in the chat or talked with me, I'm one of the Clear Edge support staff, and this is Brad. He's also Clear Edge support staff, and we're both the creators of Kairos strategies, Kairos, however you want to say it. But yeah, how was your week last week, leading up to everything? I know you're busy with a ton of stuff right now, so
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just trying to keep my head above water with work and leaving tomorrow, heading out of town for a few days for work. So just have a lot of other stuff going on. So trading was a little bit light, but I will get into that a little bit more. I have a few things testing out to see. I know I think I showed it last week, the VWAP strategy that I guess this will be in the third week of trading yet. So we'll see how it goes. It's looking pretty good so far. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
What's it up for the last couple weeks?
um, I need to let me check real quick. It is for the past week and a half. It's on a practice account, running one NQ, and it's up about $3,600. Um, and although the settings I have aren't terrible for it. It's not optimized as nice as I would probably like it. So it was more just making sure executions work right and all that kind of stuff. So, but not too bad. I mean, it has its ups and downs. It has a couple of $1,700 winning days, a couple of $1,000 losing days. But overall, the past week and a half, like I said, it's up about $3,600. So it's looking promising for sure. Hopefully, if everything still runs this good or runs good this week, then maybe we can get that one pushed out next weekend. Just want to make sure we don't have any bugs or anything in that one. So
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go over to my VPS. Let's get set up. So, oops. All right. Turn on my Clear Edge application, and I'll set up a few things here. I was actually going to go set up one of the settings I just created in something, but also thought it'd be a good idea to set up the new vector, set up something with vector uh, platinum. Take a look at that and see how that runs. But, all right. All right, let's turn on what I want to turn on. Let's turn on futures desk. And that's annoying. Let's get this over. Blue sky and Bolinux. Get that turned on. And last, a new connection, Phibius. Phibius Prop Firm. The reason why I chose them to buy a new account with is because they had these 25K static drawdown accounts, and I'm trying to just use majority um, static
uh,
static accounts. So Blue Sky is going to probably be my number one prop firm going forward. I liked them already. I mean, they're a solid company. I mean, trust review pilots are just great. I've traded them for 2 years now, and I've always had a great experience with their support. They've always been really quick at getting back to you. Just lots of good stuff with Blue Sky, in my
uh,
opinion.
I was about to ask which which prop you were talking about. You said Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, yeah. And
That's still one I haven't tried. There's a couple of them out there that I won't say newer. I mean, they're newer than the OG ones, um, but Blue Sky, Bullinox. I've still never even tried Take Profit Trader. I know they've been around for a while as well. Um, there's a couple out there that I need to give a try for sure. And I've only had a practice account on the futures desk. And I keep saying I want to go get another one, but I wanted to see how other people were doing in trading because I know they aren't against automation, which is a plus, but I know their process to pass the um, eval can be kind of lengthy because you have to get base hits and all this kind of stuff. So it just, whenever I looked, I think I mentioned this on a stream before, I just didn't fully understand the rules when I was glancing at it. So I just didn't do it, but I need to go back and look at them again.
Yeah. Yeah. Blue Sky did. Blue Sky used to be kind of like that with the base hit. I mean, that all that is a consistency rule. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's just calling it something different. Blue Sky used to be like 30% consistency on their eval, and they changed it to 50%. So now they're up with top
Okay.
where it's a lot easier. You can pass in 2 days. Um, so yeah, there's that. Um, I I want Traders Desk to be successful because I think they're going to be a firm that we can really rely on to use as automators. So I get why they probably have their rules the way they have it to make the numbers somewhat make sense because you can really only buy a few accounts with them, or you can
Yeah.
only buy $6,000 of drawdown in accounts.
Yep.
It's like I get it. I really wish that they allowed you to pass a little bit quicker. But since you're going straight to live, it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's like I said, I need to go back and look at it, but with there being I'm actually going to go pull it up right now so I can take a look at it. But with there being multiple, different steps, and it takes you from, almost like a multi-phase process, I guess. I don't know, like multiple steps to get there. Let's see, what does this take? Yeah, so they allow you either 4 accounts or up to $6,000 in available drawdown. Isn't that their rule?
Yeah, I think you can have up to $6,000 of drawdown, so you could split that up between accounts however you want.
Have one big account or
Yep.
multiple small accounts? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they can or if they will put you into a live brokerage with that though. I'm not like with multiple accounts, so I'm not sure if because I'm running 2 accounts. I'm not sure if one of them passes, and then like I pass the other one. If like I get two, I doubt I get two live accounts. I'm sure they.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, and I don't know this for sure. I honestly think that's like a CME rule.
Yeah.
So the ones that do offer multiple live accounts, I don't know if those really are true live or if they're still sim funded in some way.
Well, I mean, the
Um,
CME doesn't like I have a Tradeovate cash account and I have a Trade Station cash account, both trade futures. So I don't
yeah,
see um
and maybe I'm thinking that maybe, and it doesn't mean it's true, but maybe it was something that Top Step said a while back about if you have 5 XFAs, they're going to combine it into one live, and they only let you have one live account. So I don't know the reason behind that because I know there's some other ones that do that as well. Um, again, I don't know if it's what kind of rules dictate that or if there are any. Because I would think if somebody's profitable and you're putting them into live, and at that point you can actually profit split with them and stuff, then you would want those people to have more accounts and make more money. But
yeah.
um, but that's the reason I don't run a prop firm because I don't know all the math behind it. So
Yeah. Just to let you guys know what I'm doing on screen is right now I have a new signal pulled up to set up, and then I am setting up some new RTY 1 minute settings that it's about a 4 month back test. And it's all regular trading hours. So I'm going to put it on my Phibius account since they're similar to Apex with their automation rules. All right. Let's see. SMA. RTY 1 minute, RTH.
I really don't like this new look that traders or TradingView has put out.
Yeah.
The way you enter the alerts and stuff.
Yeah, I really don't like it. I would send something to their support, but I'm so frustrated with their support that I just don't even care anymore. If there's an issue, I'm just like, whatever, I'll figure it out or deal with it. I don't know. You remember back when we were trading QuantX and like I had the weirdest, like you weren't having the delays. Nobody else that I knew of was having the delays, but I was just having consistent delays. Like it never stopped. Like where people have seasonal or like when volatility picks up, like they have delays in TradingView. It was just happening all the time with me to where it would be like 10 to 30 second delays. I had to set up like 5 different alerts and they would all ping at different times.
Yeah, I will actually, if I run QuantX, and if I don't have limit orders or something in, then I'll still set up like 10 exit alerts. And it's crazy that you'll have them, some of them go off like up to a minute later. I don't understand, which I know Dan has said multiple times, it's just their servers on the back end, which sounds like it is, but I guess they don't really care necessarily about automation that much, or not day trading automation. Because you and I have had this conversation. If you're swing trading and you're holding trades for multiple days or weeks, a 1 minute delay is not going to matter. But if you're trying to day trade something like NQ, 1 minute can, be thousands of dollars sometimes.
Yep. All right, guys. So I'm looking at, so with the account that I bought is a 25K static account. You have $500 of drawdown. So one of the reasons I'm trading this is because it's $500 for the full mini. So that means it's $50 per loss and $50 per win. Trading this on M2K. So that's what I'm going to do. And you can just look at the list of trades, just go down and see what your average, like just kind of look through stuff, look what the average win is and the average loss, just to get a kind of good idea. Or you can just go up, look at the settings, take the points, ask ChatGPT, hey, what is how much would 10 points cost with one contract in M2K? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Feel free to put questions in the chat. So yeah. So this is what I'm going to set up. And it is a RTY or RTH strategy. So regular trading hours.
Question for you, go back to your trading view chart real quick. You do have it set on RTH, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Right
Yeah, I
here
was
at the
gonna
bottom
say,
right.
yeah, so sometimes when people are trying to do a RTH strategy, they'll just put like a time filter within the strategy itself, which works. But if you change your chart to actual RTH, that does give you a lot more back test because you only get so many bars, right? And if you're cutting out all of the overnight bars, then it gives you history further back. So just a little trick for people that are wanting to do RTH strategies and get you a little bit more history. Because you said this is on well, it's hard for me to see for some reason. You said this is on the 1 minute.
Yeah, this is on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
So
And it's going back always, because normally 1 minute goes back
1 month.
on most
1
plans.
month.
Yeah, a little less than 1 month, depending on what plan. If you have a bigger plan, then it might go back like a month and a half. But you can get a lot more data if you are trading those RTH, and then you just don't see all the noise and see all that time frame where it's not trading, because there's no reason to even see that price moving at that point.
Yep. I get 4 months with the RTH. So with my,
Yeah,
I have the ultimate plan. So, all right. And yeah, they should be having their semi-annual deal coming up. If you're interested in getting a TradingView, a higher subscription, highly recommend you have a very, very minimum premium. And honestly, it's just so cheap when they do their semi-annual stuff. I see, for me, it's just like, why not? It's like $500 to get their highest paid plan. And you get all access to whatever features that they have. So I just get that. I think it's like $250 if you do the premium.
You said it should be about time for them to have a sale.
Yeah, they have a semi-annual sale. One's at Black Friday, and then one is sometime. It's been about how long ago was Black Friday? It's been almost 6 months.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, so it's coming up. They'll have their 80% off, I think it is.
Yeah, I need to do that. I never have and don't really have a real good reason why. But yeah, fit or at the very least do the annual again. I don't know why I've never done it.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's all a
'Cause
write-off anyways, so it's like
yeah,
you're gonna be using it.
even just at mine at the premium, the annual saves, it says $120 a year. So yeah, I'll keep a watch out for that. We can make sure we post in the chat groups and Discord whenever we see that out there, because it's, as y'all know, when you're doing TradingView, you have your ClearEdge software, you have a strategy that you're using, prop accounts, costs can certainly add up. So if there's a opportunity to save some money when they have sales like that, it's definitely a good time to take advantage of it.
Yep. It is. All right, so I just hooked this up to my Phibius account. I don't know how to spell it, but I'm just gonna attempt how to spell it. Phibius. I think it's an O, not an A. Phibius. I'm not sure. I don't know. It just as a disclaimer, these are prop firms that are not like, we don't know much about them. I think Phibius is fairly new. They have a couple thousand people in their Discord though, so like they. But I think they're based in the EU, so I don't. I don't have any opinions about them one way or another, except for to say be cautious trying out different prop firms. The ones that are the gold standard, or that's a bad word for it because they all have their faults, but ones that have been trusted for a while over the long term, like, or just been around, like we know their issues. Like Apex, I would put them in that category just because we know what to expect. We know they're going to have some shenanigans going on with a certain percentage of people like all the time. So we know the risk going into it that you potentially could have something happen. Top Step obviously have been around for a long time. They've had their issues lately. And then Tradeify, those are the ones that kind of come up to the top of my mind. Blue Sky's been around for a while, so I would consider them in that category. Yep. All right, so this is all set up. So let's go over to TradingView and let's make a new chart, or let's see if I already have one for Vector. I think I already have one for Vector. I have a lot of charts if you can see me scroll through all these, man. I try to make a new one for every new thing I do instead of trying to combine or put multiple things on one chart. I just lose track of stuff so bad. I can search it. Vector. There it is. All right. And I kind of, let's see. I kind of doubt that's the newest one. 2.0. Let's click this. All right. So this is the new strategy that is out on the marketplace. Let's see. Let's take a look. With these strategies that have the drop-down menu like ours, it makes it simple to look through here and just be like, okay, this is what I can put my chart on. And I actually told them put auto detect on it too, because I was like, this makes more sense. So it's easier for us to do. And I would probably want the MES. Let me look at it. So MES. See what we got. Okay. Wait, is that the right? Oh, it's updating. All right, let's take a look at some of these trades and kind of see what's going on with them. Can you see this? You know what? Actually, I don't want to trade this. Let's see. Excuse me. Me. Jeez. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Let me look. What else he has? Let's check out the M2K. M2K. Okay, I think something's wrong. I'm doing something wrong because these back tests do not look like what I remember. Oh wait, custom. Okay. And I see more on my back test than everybody else, so I'll probably go to the 90-day, see what everybody else is seeing. Okay. Yeah, these have solid drawdown, solid statistics. MGC or MCL is people have been using MCL, right? Wasn't that what Smooth Trades was using?
Yeah, I think so.
MCL.
Is that I think last week or maybe the week before that one was doing pretty good.
Yeah, I should have probably flipped through these beforehand so that way people don't have to sit here and watch me flip through things.
Oh, geez, I didn't even pay attention on Friday. Just realized that oil is back up almost to $100.
Okay, I like this back test. Yeah. This is more my style. Man, those targets look giant though. But they have a really good risk to reward.
Yeah. What is that? Like a 4-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, something like that?
Yeah, it looks like it. And it jumps up. So like the stop jumps up after a certain point. I wonder if that's time based or percentage based. It's probably percentage based. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll throw this on something. So let me set up an alert. Do you remember what I know that Market Ninja has this? What exactly does this do again? These different ones that order fills only. Is that what I think Kevin told me to do?
Yeah, I think that's the one you typically use. Let me see. Alert. Yeah, I think just order fills only because if you do the one alerts and order fills, you'll get a bunch of other random alerts. I don't know that they do anything. Maybe they do. But either way, I've had it happen before where I'm getting another one that says buy. It won't even be in the same alert format, at least the ones I remember.
Yeah.
But whenever my phone starts going off or I have alerts going off, I get confused because I'm like, why did it close that trade already? And then you look and you're like, oh, it was just a message, but I don't really know for sure. You said Ninja has those as well?
Yeah. Yeah. I forget. Kevin told me to put it on ours. I just don't remember why. Why exactly what it did for him. Um, MCL 5-minute ETH. All right, strategy. Copy the message. Paste the message. All right. Yep. All right. That's all created. So we will see how this one does.
And which account did you say you're putting that on?
One of my futures desks. Yeah, future desk account. Yeah. Turn it on. All right. Let's see.
Oh, what's wrong? You don't want to leave it on full size crude?
It's not on. It's not optimized for it, but yeah.
Oh, is it on micro?
Yeah, he optimized it for micros. But let me check what the win and loss is. So even with a micro, it looks like the win's 200. Well, wait. Oh yeah, it looks like it doesn't hit target all the time because I'm seeing a lot of trades that are cut off.
Yeah, it might be that stop it's pulling up to, and it might be stopping out early.
Yeah. So the losses are about 115 bucks. I'll probably trade four micros. Maybe three.
I was just looking at NQ or MNQ, trying to see what I thought price might do. We're down roughly 1,500 bucks from last week's high.
Yep.
And down about $2,000 from the previous week's high. So I haven't paid attention a lot. I don't know what kind of news came out about the war or anything this weekend. So I mean, we've got a lot of room to the upside from what we've lost over the past couple weeks, but let's see.
You're looking at an NQ chart?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you just look at, I just pulled out to an hour chart, just RTH so I can get further back. We have a good area of support at about 22,300. So we do have some more room to the downside, about another 1,000 points. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us drop down. We do have about 200 points to some support around 22 or 23, 050, 060, somewhere around there. So I don't know. We have a couple of decent support areas down below us. And then really looks like no real resistance, for 5 to 800 points up. So I don't know. Be interesting to see what happens on market open. We've been getting pretty big gaps on Sunday night open lately, so
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
we have about 30 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. See what the TPO profiles. I mean, we've been overlapping to the downside for the most part, besides the Trump news crap. Our TPO profiles were under I think this is the monthly VWAP. Yeah, so we're under the monthly VWAP. Let's see.
It was a small gap down. About a 50-point gap down. That's the smallest one we've seen in several weeks, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so we have the point of control. It's up at 23,526. We're out of value right now. Price discovery. So yeah, it'll be an interesting week. I used to run I'd wait for regular trading hours, but look for if we're out of value or in value. Look for open drives to start running stuff. I was a lot more hands-on with the automation. We got a question. I'm getting an error trying to use them. Hey Brad, do you mind reaching out in the chat to Axel in the Discord chat?
Yep, I will.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Volume profile should look pretty similar. I don't know if anybody trades the CVD just as a confluence for manual trading, but man, I've tried to get something working with an algo because that would just be as a confluence to be able to take a short or take a long reversal trade. Like CVD would be money.
So I don't know if we ever, I know you and I were talking some before the stream started, but what all do you have running this week?
Yeah, I'm going to be running NQ, a couple NQ things, just with MA. And then I'm going to go heavy on ES. And I guess since I just made those settings for RTY, I'll set that up too. And I'm going to diversify between different strategies and different prop firms using those two instruments mainly. ES because I've always loved ES. I didn't really start trading NQ until after I started automating. So, or finding like algos and doing that kind of stuff. So it was ES has always been the one I like to watch typically. But yeah, that's I'll be running that. ES, I created some new settings for MA. Oh, I really just adjusted the ones that I was already trading. Where are they? So those are looking good. I don't know which one they are. Where are they? Just lose stuff on my charts. All right, here they are. So yeah, about $40,000 in drawdown and about $1,500 max equity drawdown. Good profit factor, good win percentage, and it did really well since I hooked it up. I adjusted a little bit more on Friday, kind of midday, but like I was running these something very similar to it, and it was doing really well midway through the week. So we'll see if it keeps up.
Yeah. I have so for me this week I'm running the ES 3-minute on those 3-minute bands or 3 time frame bands charts I put out last week. I'm running the 3-minute ES version. And then also running, what else do I have set up? Running the VWAP. Yep, I'm still testing that on a practice account. I need to just pull the trigger and put it on a real account. And then I have one of the old QuantX settings, automating that. And was there something else I was running?
Yeah, you were doing the
GovGap.
GovGap.
Yep. So that'll be, I mean, I know a lot of people are iffy on Apex, but to me, if you're running it through regular trading hours, and that one at most takes 1 trade a day, and a lot of days it doesn't trade. So it's not suspicious, I guess. In my opinion, doesn't mean that they won't find something they don't like, but so that's one that I'm trying there. I'd optimized that one a few months back, and it's done pretty good. I don't think I still have that one open, but let's see, looking on one MNQ for the month of March, 62, 25, it would be up $700. So not bad on one MNQ, and that's only on how many trades is that? Like 10 trades for the month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't trade very frequently, and I have mindset than different than what most people do. I think that might be trading it. I just personally don't like trailing stops. Um, for those of you that have GovGap or are familiar with it, the target is always the previous day close. I don't have any trailing stop where if it gets 50% of the way to target, then trail by 10 or 20 points or something. The target is the target, and we either make it or we don't, is the way I have it set. And of course, that's going to cause you to have a little bit more drawdown. Um, I just, in my opinion, it makes it give, I feel more comfortable that the back test is accurate, and there may not be any validity to that at all. Um, it's just kind of the way I feel about it. So, whenever I went to optimize it and I just left it as a target, then it worked, and it will have, let's see, there was one day, the 19th, what was that, last week? I guess that was the week prior. It hit a $400 trade on one MNQ. So that was 220 point trade. And then the week prior, it hit about 100 point trade. So it ends up having some pretty big wins at times. I mean, there's obviously some small ones as well, 50, $60 here or there. But it frequently, when it does hit winners, it can be, $200+ on one MNQ, which is a lot of money for one MNQ. So I've been watching it for a while, and I was like, well, I'm just going to throw something on it because I like it. I like the way it trades. I've mentioned it on previous streams. It's a simple concept, and sometimes I think simple works well. We tend to overcomplicate things at times. So it's just one of those, like, I know we mentioned that we have, what is it, 5 or 6 strategies now in the marketplace. And then if you have the higher tier of the ClearEdge plan, you get the 3 that they come with. And then you can also bring strategies from other providers that you have purchased over. So it doesn't have to be a ClearEdge marketplace strategy for you to automate. So, take those, automate. Although I do recommend, if you are doing different strategies, to run them on different props, because it seems like a lot of them are starting to crack down on hedging. So you want to make sure you're not, at least not consciously doing that. But for me, it's just simple that I just run a different strategy on a different prop. It does limit the number of strategies I can run. But if you can, have a portfolio of 3, 4, 5 strategies across the same number of prop firms, I think you're fairly well diversified at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I was writing a quick message to somebody. I just messaged that Axel guy, by the way. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
you've seen one. Yeah.
yeah. I already sent him a message.
Oh, you did? Oh, my bad.
Yep. I need to look and see.
So if you're seeing the screen right now, I have optimization running on something. Just kind of seeing what I can get from GC. It's a whole year I'm optimizing, so we'll see how it turns out, because it's regular trading hours, and that was just the default, was about a year for my how many bars I can see back. So I decided not to optimize it on a smaller amount of time and just leave it at the default. So we'll see what we get from it. This is MA moving averages. I probably won't run GC, but I'll put it out there if people are interested in running it.
That's
I'll,
one
I'll
thing.
and I'll manually tweak these settings once this finishes and gets me an initial baseline for stuff.
That's one thing I was going to say. I know you and I have talked about it some, and I don't know what people want to see. We can, as we're optimizing these, we can do a couple of things. One is we can put out regular trading hour sessions. We can also just set our backtest date range to a year if people want to see something that I guess is more consistent over time. The downside to doing a longer backtest is typically it's slower overall because it has to adapt to multiple market conditions. But it's usually more consistent and doesn't have to be optimized as frequently. So there's kind of, every time I optimize, I'm like, well, if I'm doing the one minute it's only like 3 weeks worth of data. So it's very hyper focused on the current market conditions. And if those conditions continue for a couple of weeks, then great, you'll make some money on it. But if they change all of a sudden, then those settings aren't going to work at all. Um, so I kind of go back and forth on, should we optimize? And I don't know, like input from other people as well on if you would prefer um, settings over a longer period of time that show to work, even though they might be a little bit slower, or maybe a combination of both, right? Because you might be more aggressive in an eval, knowing that if you blow it, you can start another one, and then in funded, you might be a little bit more conservative, just something that's consistent and I don't want to say kind of stood the test of time, but that's the best way to put it. If it's gone over a year, the likelihood of next week just completely wrecking the whole thing is less likely. Not impossible, but less likely to just completely change next week and wreck the whole back test. So it really just depends on, what people want. And I know when I optimize, I kind of go back and forth. Um, and and don't really know which way. There's not really a best, but what most people would prefer, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes you could just randomly throw a strategy on something and it has a good run. I mean, some of the back tests I see have like just big, they're just big mountains to where it just goes up and then down, up and then down. So I mean, like if you caught that on up, you could make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could really throw anything on an account um, and have it do good. So it's just to me, yeah, it just depends on the strategy that you're trying to take. If you're just trying to pass an eval really quickly, honestly, like a really solid back test isn't even that important. Like the important thing is that how are you going about it? Similar to how you go about it, where you're staggering your accounts. So you buy one week, buy another one the next week, buy another one the next week, or if you're sized up higher, maybe buy one every other day, to where you're staggering them on the same strategy. So then
Yeah.
you'll catch them at different points. Which I mean, that really doesn't take having a great strategy. A bad strategy could have a good run. So if you're staggering, you
Yeah.
should be fine. You should pass something sooner or later.
And I know I've mentioned that approach to a couple of people I've talked to on support calls and maybe on here as well. I don't know that people do it as much anymore, but I know, a year or so ago, I was trading with some people and they would go buy 20 Apex accounts at once and start them all on the same strategy. Me, I personally didn't like that because number one, even getting them on sale, right? You might be talking about $400, $500, $600 to go buy all of your accounts. And then if you did happen to pass all of them at once, you're talking about 2 grand to go activate all of them. So you just got to have some deep pockets to be able to fund it like that. But then, what you were talking about is if the strategy you're running, it might be a good strategy or a decent strategy overall. If it hits a bad streak as soon as you start those, you blow 20 accounts at once. So me, because every strategy is going to have ups and downs. So the way I like to approach it, like David was mentioning, is every week buy an account, started on that same strategy. So if it has a bad week at some point, you should have an account or two that have enough buffer to withstand that bad week. Your newer ones may not last; they might blow, but it's just part of the cycle. And again, I know people have their own ways of doing it. There's again no right or wrong. It really just depends on what you feel comfortable paying for accounts. If you blow them, are you in a position to go buy 5 more altogether? Especially if you're talking about, you're getting top step 150K accounts or some of these other ones that those are going to be, 150 plus dollars or something for them. If you buy 5 of those and you go drop, $600, $700 and you blow them in 2 days, it's just, even if you have the money, it's still going to mentally um, pull you down a little bit, um, just because you blew all of them. Versus even if you get them into funded accounts and you have a bad couple of days and you blow a few of those, then you know that you have a couple more that are still there. You're not having to go all the way back through the process of going through evals and then getting to funded with all of them. You just basically once you start to build them up, you have a couple that are in funded and a couple that are in evals pretty much at all time, and just cycle through them, as part of the process. And at that point, you're just playing the numbers game
Yeah.
for the prop world and just trying to take out more money than you put in.
I will say that's going to work a lot better with Top Step accounts than it will with the other prop firms, because the other ones, they have end of day drawdown all the way up until you pass. So like Top Step stops trailing once you get like what, 2/3 of the way, I think, or basically once you get your drawdown amount.
Yeah.
So for a 50K account, if you have 3K profit target, 2K drawdown, once you're above 2K, it stops trailing you. So that's
Yep.
actually going to work better for that account. Where like Blue Guardian or some of these other guys, I don't know what Lucid does. I can't remember,
I
but
think they do the same thing.
I don't think they do. I don't remember
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I can't
remember.
remember.
Yeah, I actually don't think they do. I would, if I had to bet one way or the other, I would say they don't. But um, I think it trails all the way until you pass. Uh, yeah, you know what? It does trail all the way till you pass, at least for the flex accounts.
And yeah,
Yeah.
they have different ones.
So, but yeah, because that might hurt you actually staggering, because you could actually blow everything anyways. You start something and everything's at the same amount of drawdown. So like if you start one a week later, it doesn't matter because you're still at the same
Yeah.
amount of drawdown. So you could blow everything. It doesn't matter how close you were to passing. But with Top Step, you at least, if you're above that buffer or above your drawdown, then you're good. You should have more than what a new account has in drawdown.
Yeah, and that's true. And I mean, I guess if you are doing it on some of those other accounts, then again, that I guess the point is, yeah, you could have
Stagger
you'll
them with
have
different size. That might work.
yeah, that could work. Um, or you can, and I've even thought about before, right? You start one and you run it until you pass it or blow it, and then whichever one you do, you buy another one, right? So that way that one's passed, and then the next one you're starting on an eval. So there's a couple of approaches you can take, but to your point, if you do basically have the same drawdown, because even if you're up $1,000 on one account, by the time you start another one, they still both have a $2,000 max loss limit. Um, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess as long as you have a decent strategy that is kind of winning more than it's losing, then I guess the hope is you get out of that drawdown phase
Yeah.
and before you ever hit that. And again, it's all a numbers and a math game of hoping that um, that you've built up enough buffer in it before that happens. Some knowing that you will, some that you won't. I'm actually looking. I'm not sure if VWAP's going to get in a trade here in a second.
Let's see. Yeah, we might go back to the open or to the previous day's close on this. I'm not sure. We'll see right here.
Well, if VWAP gets in, it's going to be in a short, but I don't know. I don't remember what my settings have if it waits a little bit, but it's going to be a smaller. Nope, it didn't get in one. No, it ticked the VWAP. It didn't, or the band. It didn't go above it. But it would have only been like a 10-point trade or something. It wouldn't have been very big. That's the only thing about running that at um, overnight open is just the price hasn't had enough time to spread out, so it can be some small profit targets. But like I mean, it's worked because it can take. I've actually, which I know you have some settings on the using the third band, and it just doesn't trade very much. And this one on the second band, it at least gives you more trades, but sometimes there'll be smaller targets. And I'll even see sometimes during the regular trading hours that the price has already expanded out so much that unless there's just a big move, it's not going to hit it. So a lot of the times, most of the trades are honestly overnight. And in regular trading hours, it doesn't get much at all.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
again, there's nothing wrong with that. It just um, you'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm up X amount. Wonder if I'm going to get another trade. And then when you're just looking at price and where the bands are, you're like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there.
Yeah, let's.
Whenever it comes back in VWAP, it'll or yours is on the third. Is that what yours
Yep,
is on?
yep. It's
Yeah.
set to the third, so you can see. And this is the back test, so it. I mean it. It's a little more jagged of a back test just because of that's just what it is. I mean, if you look at GovGap, you don't get the smooth line like you would get with like bands or something to where it trades a lot more. So you get a little bit smoother of an equity curve. Um, so what just happened? I just closed something closed out of a trade. Let me check really quick. Oh wow, we just. Oh man, yeah. Uh, well, that first one's a losing trade.
What was
Yeah.
that on? That was on Vector?
No, that was on MA, the new
Oh,
ES
gotcha.
settings that I put out. Um,
Yeah,
but
they
yeah, so,
those I mean those settings that you have, which people can tell from that one, that's like a 4-to-1, probably something like that. So if you go to the third band, you get a lot better risk to reward. But it's 100 and roughly 80 trades, I think is what it said in, 6 months. So it's not trading a lot, but typically the ones that you are trading, you're getting a good risk to reward on. And when we release this, David and I will put out some settings for it. But with mine doing the second band, is it's getting more trades, but sometimes you might have especially early on in the session, you might have a 1-to-1 risk to reward. To be honest with you, it could be negative at times. But it's, to me, although I don't think you want, I mean, sometimes you do, and if the back test shows it'll work, but having at least a 1-to-1, sometimes slightly negative, if back test shows that just works the best. But with these just being, especially early in the session, they're pretty quick and fast trades. Um, that most of them are, at least 1-to-1, and sometimes because basically it's trading back to VWAP. It's what it's doing. This strategy is pretty simple overall. You can see on David's chart, the one to the right of his settings box, where it wicked below the band, the third band that he has his set on, and then it enters long and it trades back to the VWAP. So again, pretty simple um, trade setup. It just gives you the ability to back test it and try different price targets and things like that. So
yep. And I was going to show you. So this has profit target is VWAP or it goes to the TP. So like this one's a 40 point for shorts, and I just did whatever optimized the best. I didn't really care. You would think longs would have bigger targets, but this one doesn't. So 16-point target, and then it's about a 5-point target. There's stop loss for all of the trades. So it's a really tight stop. And on the shorts, you can really get good trades. Let's see if I can find a short that didn't stop out. That one stopped out. But when you stop out, it's only 5 points. So um, let's see.
yeah, I know a week or two ago when you were looking at these, there was one that was like a 12-to-1 risk to reward or something that was crazy.
Yeah, no, it like caught all 40 points. It didn't even hit VWAP yet. So it was a crazy short. I mean,
Now go to the left just a little bit. There was one there.
oh yeah, that one didn't even hit the VWAP. So it hit the max TP. So literally a 40-point trade. And just look at that stop. Like you're risking like nothing. You could take a lot of paper cuts in one win and
Yeah.
be
And
good.
if you're going to the third band, you can definitely do some pretty tight stops on that. The second, you got to open it up a little bit more. Um, the first, you'd probably have to be a little bit more generous even. And I don't know that you would ever even trade the first band. Maybe so. And maybe as we release some settings, then maybe we put out some settings for each different band, because you're gonna have more people like this for a funded account. Again, 180 trades in 6 months is not a lot. Some people are gonna want more trades than that. So if you do it to the second band, you'll get more. Because I think, let me look at mine. Um, that I'm running, there was normally between 5 to 10 trades per day is pretty standard. There have been 2 days above 10, so 5 to 15 trades per day is basically what mine's been taking using the second ban. So, decent. I still think, and I don't think that's going to be under trading by anybody's definition, right? But if you're getting, 2 trades a week, some people might like more than that. So it just depends on really your trading style. Like we say with all these strategies, right? Look at them and see. And um, there's a good chance people might want to trade the ones that trade more a little bit more aggressive in their evals. And then if you get the funded, that one David was showing would probably be a great option for a funded account.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, it's something that definitely I would want to hook new people up to. If they are going to use something from the marketplace, like something that just doesn't trade as much as they kind of get, or on a like, or I guess if they're just on eval and they don't care as much, not a big deal. But some guys don't have a huge budget to be able to just throw a bunch of combines or evals around. So um,
Yeah.
just kind of getting used to the automation, figuring stuff out. Something that trades maybe a little bit less, um, mainly because there's like a belief that tends to happen when you're first starting this is that like you're when you have a bad day, like something's not working. Like, oh, this isn't
Yeah.
working. But when you have a better risk reward, you don't have the expectation. And when you trade less, you don't have the expectation that every day is going to be a winning day. You know that
Yeah.
you'll have losing days and they'll be small. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious if we have about what, 25. We got close to the filling the gap on NQ on the last 5-minute candle, but we still have a little ways up to get to about 250. So I wonder if it's gonna fill it the rest of the way and then give us a dump back down. I'm waiting it as soon as we close down a little bit from where we are, my VWAP should enter. If we stay around here, it might enter. I've got a little less than a minute to see if it enters or not. But like I said, to me, I like it because it's simple. And I know a lot of times people want to understand um, what the strategy is doing to some extent. Obviously, they're not going to know all the code and everything in it. But VWAP and GovGap are two that you can easily look at it and understand what it's doing. So that's to me why I like it, because you can look at it and you know if it's about to trigger a trade or not.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Uh, I was just kind of going through the marketplace, a new look on the marketplace for you, those of you who haven't checked it out yet. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do need to get some more back tests loaded in there. They did add that where we can upload the back test from the strategy, and you can flip through different settings and um, see different assets and timeframes and stuff on there. So we just need to, I think for bands, I put an ES one on there, but we need to get some for MA and some other ones um, for bands to put on there as well. If you
Yeah.
go to um, there's none on that one. Go to the bands one. And I think I loaded one in there on over the weekend, maybe Friday. Yeah.
What is it for? It doesn't say it unless you have multiple.
Um,
Oh, that's something that we need to look at. So anybody that put multiple up there, they get to see
that
what
shows.
instrument they're looking at,
Gotcha.
but you
Yeah,
can't if you don't.
I didn't realize that. Or maybe there's something I need to do on my side. But that was the ES 3-minute on those 3 time frame charts that I put out end of last week. I
Okay.
believe that's the ES3 minute, but y'all go look at that. I don't know if it's something that I need to do on my side or if that's something we need to get with the devs about making sure it shows the instrument and time frame. Let me go look. Band strategy. Yeah, it just shows the date. It's not, I don't have an option to add anything that I can tell, but I'll grab another one in a minute and put it out there and see if it puts the time frame and everything. But
Yeah.
it looks
All
like
right.
we're already at an hour. Time flies.
Yeah, it does. Well, thanks for hopping on, and hopefully, if you guys have any questions or we didn't cover something in the chat, feel free to send us a message or post in the user chat on Discord for Clear Edge. But yeah, looking forward to a good week, guys.
Yep.
All
And
right.
if y'all do need, I will be out of town for a few days, but David and the other guys should be around to help. If y'all need any help getting things set up, or if there's anybody new that needs a demo or you just have questions, you can always set up a call for us or with us, and we'll be happy to jump on with you guys and help get you going.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.